Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan TheOrganizer. What is that I hear? Is that controversy knocking on the door? Is that drama now entering the building? Well, you're going to have to find out. This is going to be a hot and saucy one. Hopefully, we're going to have a nice discussion, push the envelope and barriers on a bunch of things detailing related. It's going to be a special one. You're going to want to drop some comments in the comment section under the video to share your thoughts, emotions, and opinions. I think you know the drill. Let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and start the show. Hey, what's up, guys? Pan TheOrganizer here. So, up with a brand new video. Probably going to stir a little bit of controversy today, but fun discussions because it's important to have these talks about detailing, right? So the vehicle, as you can tell, my brand new 2021 Porsche 911 Turbo S was fully detailed by none other than my friend, many decades in the business, Ivan LaCroix. Hi, Ivan.
How are you?
So yet another guest appearance on the Pan TheOrganizer channel.
Thank you.
So today I wanted to, because we have many discussions, and I want to touch on a topic that there's a lot of heated discussion sometimes, as if this was like a sports venue with teams that you're fighting for who's going to win the championship. Basically, car washing. So what is the best way to wash a car today in 2021, not in 1900s? So pretty much everybody thinks or knows with a pre-wash and a snow foam and a foam cannon, and then the 2-bucket wash method with your favorite pH neutral car shampoo and so on and so forth. But you have a slightly different take on it. And by the way, guys, I'll invite you while listening to drop comments in the comment section under the video for your thoughts, your emotions, your opinions. Let's get a conversation going about this. But Ivan, so if I ask you the question, what is the best method to wash a car?
First of all, soap is a very old technology.
No!
It shouldn't be around anymore. You know, soap is good in the shower. It's not good in the car wash. As I said, soap is an old technology. There's a lot of different soaps out there. They all end up being the same in the sense that to get the foaming action, they use salt. Salt leaves a residue on the vehicle, and you're always masking your vehicle when you're using soap. The other thing is the traditional soap and water wash. So we'll start off how our friend Pan does it and thousands of or millions of other people. You start by applying the snow foam. Then you take your pressure washer and you pressure wash off the snow foam. Then you take your 2-bucket wash method with a beautiful wool or chenille mitt, microfiber mitt, and you wash your car with that. Then you rinse off the soap. Then you dry it. Well, that's where you're damaging the car, first of all, is the drying. And a lot of companies have now come up with what they call a drying aid, which should actually better be termed a drying lubricant, because that's what it's doing. It's lubricating the surface. Because when you're taking your microfiber towel and taking water off the vehicle, first of all, water is a solvent. It's the world's most prevalent solvent. There's a lot of it out there. And that water requires pressure on your towel and multiple passes to get it off. And while you're at it, even though in a controlled environment like this, there's still a bit of dust falling on the car. So where you start drying and where you end drying, there's still a bit of dust. And that dust, now you're forcing it into paint with your beautiful soft microfiber towel. So that is where you're scratching a vehicle. Fast forward 20, 30, 40, 50 years, or 80 years, or 100 years for that matter, because we've been washing cars with soap and water that long. We have a beautiful 2021 Porsche here. It should never be washed with soap again. Pan did it before. His first wash was with soap. It's probably a video linked right about here somewhere. Or up here, I don't know. But that soap is old technology. And the new technology is a rinseless wash. Now, a rinseless wash doesn't mean you don't rinse the car off first. It means you don't rinse it at the end. So you're keeping that lubrication on the vehicle for drying. So no need for a drying aid. Now, Pan has a plethora of products behind me that he loves using. So he'll still be using a drying aid even though he doesn't need to with a rinseless wash. But again, the rinseless wash, another thing that a lot of people do, if you don't have a foam cannon, I see people take their pressure washer to pressure wash off the dirt first. Well, when you're doing that, you're taking 12, 15, maybe 2,000 PSI direct on that dirt and forcing it into your paint and scratching it across the paint. you're damaging your vehicle. Before, you should actually take a rinseless wash in a pump sprayer or whatever, an IK or something like
these
yeah, like the IK sprayers.
IK pump sprayers, yeah.
Yeah. So you take your rinseless wash and spray it on the vehicle. Now, the rinseless technology is a lot different than soap. It encapsulates the dirt, giving you protection. And by the time you've walked around the vehicle, it's had time to encapsulate the dirt. Then you rinse it off with your pressure washer. Now it has a little polymeric layer surrounding that dirt that doesn't allow it to scratch the vehicle. Now, you snow foamers out there, and Pan is one of them, do a little test. Take your snow foam cannon and just spray it on one door of the car. So if you have a 4-door car, it's great. Spray it on one door of the car and then let it dwell as long as you want. Then take your pressure washer and pressure wash off that door, but also the door or the fender beside it. And then let them air dry. Now, everybody, as soon as they take the snow foam off, they're on there with their mitt. They don't have time to actually see the results. Then look at the result of, this is the area that I snow foamed, and this is the area that I just used the pressure washer. There probably won't be a difference, because the snow foam looks cool, it's fun. It really doesn't do much. Next thing is the technology of the wash itself. You're using soap, and you use a 2-bucket method, and there's a reason for the 2-bucket method. With soap, all that dirt floats at the top. It's actually in the bubbles. It stays there. It doesn't go to the bottom. A good rinseless wash is also a water softener. So any of the minerals or the heavier things actually go to below your grit guard and stay away from where you're washing. So if you're using a 2-bucket wash method in a rinseless, it means you have 1 bucket on either side of the car to be more efficient. You don't need to have a rinse bucket for your wash media and a soap bucket. And actually using a rinse bucket in a rinseless wash is not a good idea, because you're further diluting the product by bringing water back into it every time. So if you have a wash product that has a specific dilution ratio, you don't want to be screwing around with the dilution ratio. The other thing that has evolved greatly over the years is the wash media itself. So we've all seen on the wall of the garage, hanging on a nail, that wool wash mitt. You know, our grandfather had one, probably still has it today. Scratches his car with it on a weekly basis. But those wool wash mitts, that's old technology. Then we saw the chenille microfiber mitts. And again, chenille microfiber is great products, not for washing. What does microfiber do? It attracts dirt, and it keeps it locked in the surface till you put it in the washing machine. Dunking it in that rinse bucket takes the soap off, but it doesn't necessarily take the dirt off the surface of the microfiber. Then you're putting it back in the soap bucket. You're bringing new suds so you don't see the dirt. You've got all these brand new suds, so it looks really cool again. But again, you're not getting that wash. Foam technology has evolved dramatically, and Pan will tell you that. If you look at polishing pads from 10 years ago and polishing pads from today, completely different evolution. But in the washing, there's a few sponges out there. Unfortunately, I developed them, so I might be a little biased here. But anyways, they're designed to wash with a rinseless wash. And the technology behind the foam is very interesting. I've seen a lot of people use a grout sponge with a rinseless wash.
Continue talking. I'm going to get that sponge for the
videos. Okay, yeah. So a grout sponge with a rinseless wash is not designed for doing that. So this is the Ultra Black Sponge.
From the Rag Company?
Rag Company, you can buy it on YouTube, or not YouTube, you can buy it on Amazon. Yeah, but the Rag Company is the exclusive distributor of it. I developed it, and what's different about it, first of all, is the ergonomics. It fits the hand beautifully. It's nice and soft. And these cuts and the foam do a few things that the chenille wash mitt will never do. And that is, it actually wicks the dirt away from the paint as you're washing it and into the foam. But as soon as you touch that bucket of rinseless, it drops it. It lets go of it. Because it's not a physical hold on to it. It's a hydraulic system, in a sense, soaking it in and letting it go. So that's a different thing. And when you're using a sponge with a rinseless wash, you do not want to get it soaking wet and slop it on the car. Because when you do that, you're not allowing the sponge to do its job. The sponge should be just on the verge of dripping. So you take it out of the bucket, give it a squeeze, it's on the verge of dripping, you're good to go. That is the best way. Now it's going to deposit the rinseless wash on the surface, but at the same time absorb the dirt. When you put it back in the bucket, give it a squeeze, you're good to go on the next panel. And it's two-sided. So you can do one side, one panel with one side, second panel with the other side, in the bucket, squeeze, move on. And now the big difference between a rinseless wash and the soap and water wash. At this point, soap and water, you rinse it off. You take your hose, you rinse off the soap, and once you've rinsed off the soap, you're left with water on the car. Then you have to have a drying aid if you want to have a safe technique. If you use the old leather chamois hanging on the nail beside the wash mitt, well, you're going to be scratching your car. And if you use the ShamWow, well, it might be doing that as well. I don't even know if Pan owns a ShamWow, but no, okay. So that is the technology. And the rinseless wash provides the lubrication that you need for drying. Now you can use a drying aid with it or a drying lubricant. By all means, enjoy yourself, but it's not necessary. Whereas with a soap, if you want a safe wash, you have to use a drying lubricant.
And some of the best rinseless washes, of course, there's the classic Optimum No Rinse, but one that I discovered recently and that we used on my 911 was the McKee's N914 Rinseless Wash. This one has the nice smell of apple.
Yeah.
And so for people who are wondering, the dilution ratios are identical, 256:1. What does that mean? What is the easy way to measure that in a 5-gallon bucket, for example?
So a 5-gallon bucket, 2.5 ounces of product. So it's half an ounce to a gallon.
Half an ounce to a gallon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because a gallon is 128 ounces, 256:1, just happens to be 2 gallons.
By the way, guys, don't worry. I'll link all these products for you guys in the description under the video as usual. But Ivan, for those who use the rinseless wash on the windows, the glass, and the paintwork and all that stuff, a question that usually pops up is, how do they do the wheels? What do you do with dirty wheels?
Well, you're going to be using your pressure washer or your hose to pre-rinse. That's when you foam. So get out your APC, put it in a foamer, put it in your IK foamer, whatever, your foam cannon even if you want. Then you spray it on the wheels, you brush your wheels as you normally do. Then when you're doing your pre-rinse on the car, you rinse off the wheels.
So that's the easy way.
Yep.
And is a rinseless wash good for, obviously we try and say, for lightly moderate to semi-dirty or lightly dusty cars? Or if they're dirty, you just pre-rinse them before and then you do your rinseless wash? Is it good for any type of dirt on vehicles?
Any type, because think of it this way. Your soap and water wash, you wouldn't take it to the car without rinsing it off first. Well, do the same with a rinseless wash. Rinseless doesn't mean don't pre-rinse. It means don't rinse it off the surface before you start drying.
Okay, so that's the major difference.
Yeah.
And obviously, well, technically, rinseless washes don't leave any residues behind. Is that also true? Or?
Yeah, for some.
Okay.
Some companies, let's say they take a shortcut to making a rinseless wash. And that shortcut is they take a soap and tell you to dilute it 256:1 or 312:1 or whatever and call it a rinseless wash. And any soap that you have, you can use as a rinseless wash, but it's still going to have the drawbacks of being a soap. So there are some companies, like the ones Pan mentioned, that their rinseless wash is a polymer base and it's completely different than soap. And it doesn't suds. Try putting it in a foam cannon and you might get a little bubble here and there, but you're not going to get the shaving cream lather that you want. If your rinseless wash provides a shaving cream lather, you've got a disguised soap probably.
All right. So let me bring this back to me. Guys, what did you think of this? Now, you know it's always controversial, right? Waterless washes, rinseless washes, traditional washes. I'm curious, what do you think? Drop a comment in the comment section. What is your method of choice? For those of you who love rinseless washes, maybe say why, what kind of experience you have, which products you enjoy. And for those who are more proponents of the traditional 2 or 3 bucket method, well, that's fine as well, as long as you use a technique that's fine for you and you use safe washing and drying methods. Also, I see my buddy Ivan, he wants to mention something else. Let's bring the camera back to him.
One little thing. Before the comments start going here, there's no wrong way of doing it. If it makes you happy and you're happy with the way you're doing it, by all means, that's the right way for you. But if you're looking for the scientific way of the best paint, because again, we have a 2021 Porsche here, and we shouldn't be washing it with the same methods that Ferdinand Porsche washed the first Volkswagen with.
So you were also often referring to how Romans used to clean their chariots back in the day?
Exactly. Our good friend Ben Hur cleaned his chariot with soap and water probably. He didn't have a rinseless wash back then. Henry Ford, amazingly, was a fan of a waterless wash, but wasn't quite environmentally safe. He used kerosene.
Wow. So guys, words of wisdom. It's always a blast. Talking with this man is something else. I learned so much things, even after 24 years of enjoying detailing. He's been there, he's been telling me for over 40 years in the business. So he's been through quite a lot of products. His wife is there as well, so we two great people. They detailed this car to perfection. You can see the video. By the way, if you want to learn more tips and tricks, debunking myths, and learning how to grow your business if you're a professional detailer as well, check out his YouTube channel, The Detailer's Business Academy with Ivan LaCroix. I'll drop the link to his channel in the description under the video. Show him some love, guys. Go subscribe to his channel. It is something else, a very different and a unique take on what is going on in your business. I always appreciate that. And yeah, appreciate their presence. And as usual, it's always fun to have them over. So again, I'll leave some links for you guys to some products we discussed in the description under the video. You guys know if you want to continue to learn more about car detailing, all the products, equipment, tips, tricks, and techniques, you have to make sure to click the subscribe button that's found under this video. Now you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. So guys, as usual, thanks for being there, thanks for watching, and in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.